I need like a bench so I can start like a Mr. Rogers intro. Where I don't have shoelaces, so that wouldn't really make any sense. But hey, welcome to the channel. My name's Crawford. Never been here before. We're working on a 90s Ranger. Last weekend we cut all of the suspension off of it. There is nothing here. I got leaf springs and perches and everything laying on the ground. Two semi-straightish frame rails ready for hundreds of pounds of steel to be added to them. If you've never been here get you caught up real quick. 90s Ranger. It's going to be a kind of a hopper. It'll have a custom one-off 3-link, 8 to 10 batteries, 3 pumps with a piston pump, wrapped frame. Things are going to make it stronger. It's going to be a little different from what we normally do. And what we normally do, and what we've done very recently, as far as like 2 months ago, a month ago, we body dropped an 80s Chevrolet Caprice. That car it's a lowrider in a way. If you've never seen those videos, go check them out. There's, I don't know, 20 videos of that. There's like 60 videos of us body dropping a Mazda on the channel. Tons and tons of work going on around here because we post every single Sunday. I know, it's a little weird. It's not normal channel stuff because everybody does it differently. This week, just no different for us. We're trying to get something done. We try to get something done every single weekend. And we succeed, generally speaking. It happens. So I'm going to try and keep the rambling to a minimum. I'm going to be picking this week's t-shirts winner. Because again, if y'all have been following along, the last 2 weeks we hit 4,500, then we hit 4,600 subs. That's awesome. And showing my appreciation for that, I gave t-shirts away. I got one last week, and another person's going to win one this week. And I'll pick that tomorrow to give everybody as much time as possible to get their vote in for a potential winner. So I'll add that clip in probably about here. All right, we're back after an eventful day of basically doing nothing but playing with cars with the children. Clean the garage up. This time, to prevent, for whatever reason, my phone picking the same person at the beginning of every video and me telling everybody that guy doesn't count, we put it on James's phone. The second winner has always been different. We put it on James's phone, so we're going to see what happens. And I'm not sure if he commented last week, so we'll see. And we'll do it live. Boop. 87 Ram 50. That is the winner. So James is going to screenshot that and send it to me. That's the winner. So again, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of them have the same username. They're all the same thing. And you can email me. I'll put all that links in the description.
And I'm going to throw in a free handshake and hug at the next show.
If you see James at a show, he will give you a handshake and a hug for free. So, yeah, message me and you'll get a free t-shirt. Make sure you give me the size, because I need the size and your address. Again, not sponsored by anybody. Nobody paid me to do this. This is me thanking y'all for following me along. So with that winner being picked, those people will be having their t-shirts shipped out very soon after I get the information from that person. And we're just going to jump into it. We're going to pull this rear end out and try and get something done. We're going to add in a little bit of more grinding, because as y'all saw last week, the rust is thick. None of it's pitted. None of it's ruined or rusted through. It's just covered in this really, I don't know. It's not even thick. It creates the nastiest dust. Everything in my garage is red or brown or whatever. So I'm rambling. Let's just get to work. Let's just do something productive. Start with taking the rear end out. So the game plan for this weekend, I want to get the rear end out, which is basically just held in with a couple cables, brake lines, and the drive shaft. What I'd like to do is start out by cutting all of the perches off. I have 2 leaf spring perches, 2 shock perches, some little random tabs for the brake lines, and we need to get this thing completely stripped and clean. Maybe pull the drums off, throw them in the blast cabinet, save us like $40, whatever drums cost, because I think these are fine. I think I took them off. I don't really remember. I want to say the guy did the brakes on it before I got it, because that's probably about one of the only things he actually did was change the brakes. But we'll re-inspect that because I don't remember. If I can get the rear end completely stripped, drained, wire brushed, sanded down, that's huge. We're going to follow that up with trying to take a wire wheel inside of here somehow and get some more of that super toxic, nasty, thick rust coating stuff out of there. Again, there's no pits or holes. It's just weird. It's like a solid, same finish. It's really strange. I need to get that cleaned up and then throw something on the frame to treat it to stop it from doing this anymore. Especially because we're going to be wrapping the frame and we won't be able to get back to any of this stuff. So that's the game plan. That's what we're trying to do. Start by pulling the rear and probably working on it for hours. Please don't break. Not sure if I actually need that. Well, maybe. I don't know if I need it, but probably. Knowing how stuff was in the 90s and the things that they were trying to do, it'll probably tell the radio not to work or something stupid. There's a term, living in the Rust Belt. If you don't know what the Rust Belt is, it's like New York to... I'm not sure where it stops. I know I'm in the middle of it for sure. And the Rust Belt is a line, basically where we use an excessive amount of salt on the road. For you California guys and people on the other side, or wherever, because I know I have a lot of guys from Australia, New Zealand, Hawaii, like there's tons of people, which again, I appreciate y'all watching me in my little garage ramble along and basically just fumble my way through this. A lot of people don't believe that there's things called rusted together. I've told this term to people and they look at me like I'm crazy, especially people, West Coast people, to have no idea what we're talking about because this isn't a thing over there. It doesn't happen. It takes 20 times as long for something from the 90s or early 2000s to rot. We have cars that are 5 years old that you can see through the frames. Not exaggerating. This would be the term rusted together. That doesn't have any bolts in it. And that's on there. Like that's I'm going to have to tap it with a hammer to get it off. That's not the most extreme term of this. Usually you'd have a bolt like this where the nut will never come off again because the rust has sealed itself onto the metal. It's really bad. This is pretty close to it. Actually, some of these are pretty bad. If I took the nut off of this, it would take all the threads off it with it too. That's why I just cut them. I don't even waste my time trying to take them apart because it's not worth the time dealing with it. Hopefully, one tap. Again, this doesn't have bolts in it. See what I mean? It's a thing. That's the easiest example. Usually on some things that we deal with, it results in hours of beating or I just go straight for the torch. That's why the torch is my best friend. I have a lot of tattoos. The torch is the biggest tattoo on my body. Torch is my best friend when it comes to things of this nature. Just thought I'd show a very, very small example. If I can dig through my stuff out back, I'll give another example. So, and again, my East Coast guys, they understand. It's what we deal with constantly. And the further north you go, the worse it gets. New York cars, this wouldn't exist. There wouldn't be a Ranger here, basically. Alright, I dug through my stuff. I know this isn't truck related. Again, I wanted to show, just in case there's people that have never seen things like this, because this is pretty normal. Like, this is extremely normal here. This is 100% something we deal with constantly, especially working on vehicles. That used to be a bolt. This was probably close to a 3/8 bolt, judging by the head over here. This is all one piece now. My camera sucks at close-ups, but if you try to take this off, this is made together now. You could not remove that from that. Yeah, pretty normal, especially on exhaust and suspension pieces. Yeah, this is that's why I keep saying there's rust on this truck, on the frame rails. It's just a coating. It's really nothing. It's the rust that I see on here. When I see it, I'm like, wow, this is great. This is perfect. There's nothing wrong with this at all. Oh. Tack. Pretty clean in there. I don't see any carnage. Just the dirt I just dropped in there. Fluid's actually pretty clean. I'm surprised. Well, it's about an hour and 15 minutes past the time that James said he was going to be here, so I got a lot of work done. I managed to make a very large mess. This is all grinding dust, and it is everywhere in my garage. So I'll have to clean when I get back. But we're looking pretty good. We have pretty smooth axle tubes so far. Need a little bit more sanding, a little bit more back and forth. What I usually do is take a 40 to 60 grit flap disc on the grinder. That was my initial cut. Then I follow it up with a 40 and 80 grit sandpaper on the DA to smooth out all of the very light grinding marks. And so far, not bad. But James and I are going to go play toy cars, enjoy the holiday. I know that this isn't what this holiday is about, but we're going to enjoy our time off by not doing something mechanical and labor intensive for a few hours, and then we'll pick this back up when I get back home. So let's see how far we can get by the end of tonight. So I think that's about it for work, but I showed this stuff, I think in maybe a Caprice video. I don't really remember. It wasn't in a Ranger video because we were waiting for the parts. So that's why we stopped working on the Ranger for a couple months and body dropped the Caprice. I got in what I hope is everything as far as the stuff goes for the 3-link for the Ranger. In that, it's a lot. You have pretty massive bar ends. These are slip-in, and they fit into 2x2 tubing, which this needs to be deburred, but these are from Thorbeck Brothers. These things are extremely beefy and very, very well made, but this is the tubing we'll be running. I have a couple sticks of this. So it's just as simple as sliding that in, TIG welding those two together. I have been thinking, because I don't think there's anything as such as overkill when it comes to this stuff, maybe sleeving the bottom arm, because they're going to do cylinder on bar. So it's a good chance we could have a bar that weighs like 50 pounds, which is probably going to be pretty close to that anyway. But we also have brand new cups, brand new tabs, a whole pack of them, a bunch of random stuff that we could potentially use in this very, very nice joint that will be in the front of the 3-link. I have bar ends, different width bar ends, bushings, all kinds of stuff. So hopefully we don't run into any hiccups. Again, sorry for a short video, but we're, again, enjoying not being at work and not being at work tomorrow. So there's a pretty good chance that I'll pick up next week's video tomorrow at some point, because I go kind of stir crazy sitting in the house doing nothing and end up in the garage anyway. But I appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to subscribe, do all the normal YouTube things with the comments, and we'll pick this back up on next Sunday.